So I'm having fun playing this free throw game today. When I push button A, my sprite shoots a basketball, and I coded it so that she can go down to the 3-point line and make 3 points every time she makes a basket. I can jump her back up and she'll only make 2 points per basket. So I made this using the free throw tutorial at arcade.makecode.com. From the arcade.makecode.com website, we're going to go down to the tutorial for free throw. The directions say, line up your shot and see if you can slam dunk this basketball free throw game. This will be fun. From Scene, Toolbox Drawer, drag Set Background Image onto the workspace and drop it into the On Start block. In the Set Background Image block, click on the gray oval to open the image editor and draw half of a basketball court. Okay, to start with, I want to make my court all one color. I'm going to choose this creamy color, and I'm going to use the paint can and fill out the whole space. Now I need to make my free throw lines. I'm not making the basketball hoop just yet. I'm just making the court. Okay, I have my basketball court the way I want it, so let's go back. Step 3, from the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag Set My Sprite block and drop after the Set Background Image block. Alright, set my sprite. Click on the gray oval to open the Sprite image editor and draw or select a gallery image for your player. Alright, I'm going to go to the gallery for this one. Keep it quick and easy. There's the one I want. Okay, next. From the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag a Set Sprite Position block, Set Position, and drop after the Set Sprite block. In the Set My Sprite Position block, click on the X coordinate and using the coordinate picker, select a location at the bottom of the screen. Alright, well X is going to move my little sprite to the middle, and Y is going to move my little sprite down. So I want her down maybe close to 70. Alright, let's see how that looks on my emulator. Yep, there she is. Alright, next. From the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag a Set My Sprite Velocity block. Set My Sprite Velocity. Drop after the Set My Sprite Position. Since we only want the player to move horizontally, set the VY value to be 0. So she's only going to change her X position. She's only going to move left and right. Notice in the game console window that our player actually moves off the screen. There she goes. We don't want that. From the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag a Set My Sprite Stay In Screen. Drop it after the Set My Sprite Velocity. In the Set My Sprite Stay In Screen block, use the drop-down menu to select the property Bounce on the wall. Ooh, she could also destroy it. We'll save that for later. And then we're going to turn it on. Alright, let's see what my little sprite does now. Now she's moving and bouncing off the walls. Excellent. From the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag another Set My Sprite block and drop after the Set My Sprite Bounce on Wall block. Click on the gray oval to open the Sprite image editor and draw an image of a basketball hoop. Okay, so sprites, Set My Sprite. Now it's Sprite 2. And I'm drawing a basketball hoop. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to use the circle tool. If I start in the middle-ish and drag to the corner, it'll kind of be round. Alright, easy enough. Next, in the Set My Sprite 2 block, click on Player, because the hoop's not a player. We're just going to name it Hoop. New kind, it's a hoop, not a player. Alright, next. From the Sprites Toolbox drawer, drag a Set My Sprite Position. Set My Sprite Position. Drop it after Set My Sprite 2. Select My Sprite 2, so I'm selecting the hoop. Click on My Sprite drop down menu. Okay, X coordinates. So I need to change it so it's up at the top in the middle. So that looks like it's about in the middle. And I think I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Alright, let's reset it, see where my hoop is now. My hoop's kind of in the middle-ish. I might slide it over a little bit more. 80 would put it exactly in the middle. So I'm going to put it about 85 maybe. See how that looks. Alright, I'll just put it at 80. Alright, next. From the controller on the toolbox, drag an on button, press block onto the workspace. Click on the A drop-down menu and select any button. Okay, there's my on button A pressed. It says to change it to any button pressed. Alright. From the Sprite's toolbox, drag a set projectile to projectile from my Sprite block. So set projectile to, put it on any button pressed. Click the gray oval to open the Sprite image editor and draw an image of a basketball. Okay, so I'm going to select the circle in orange. If I start in the middle and drag out to the sides, it will make a roundish shape. I'm going to click the paint can and I'm going to click in the middle here to fill it in. Alright, see what that looks like. There's my basketball. Okay. Alright, next. We want the basketballs to travel from our player character vertically upwards. In the set projectile block, set the VX value to 0. We don't want it going sideways. And set the VY value to -100. So negative is going to make it go up. And 100 is just telling it the speed to go up. From the Sprite's toolbox drawer, drag an On My Sprite Overlaps block into the workspace. On Sprite of Kind Player overlaps other Sprite of Kind Player. Click on both the player kind drop-down menus and change one to projectile. So when the projectile, which is the basketball, overlaps the other Sprite, let's change that to hoop. So when the basketball overlaps the hoop, we want something to happen. From the game toolbox, drag game over, drop it into the On Sprite Overlaps block, and toggle it to win. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it, but I want to check it first, and then I might make some updates. When I hit any button, my character shoots the basketball, and if it overlaps with the hoop, I win. So at this point, your code is done. You can go ahead and share your link with me, publish it, copy that big long link and paste it in the canvas. But I have some updates you might be interested in trying, so if you want to make the game a little better, keep watching. Well, I think I'd rather play the game so that I get points when I win. So, like maybe have a game where I can shoot for 30 seconds, and then at the end of 30 seconds, see how many points I have. So I'm going to change this a little bit. Alright, first thing I want to do is on start, I'm going to add a countdown. So I'm going to info, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to have a countdown. For this tutorial, I'll leave it at 10 seconds because I can change that later. Alright, I also want to score points, and since it's a basketball game, this will be my 2-point line, and then down here will be my 3-point line. So I want a 2-point line and a 3-point line. So that game's over. I'm going to go to the controller, and I'm going to drag out on button A pressed, and I'm going to change it so that if I use the up arrow, my character stays at the free throw line. So I'm going to tell my character, my sprite, that her position, if I hit the up button, she's going to start in the middle. And that free throw line is kind of around 70, so let's see. If I hit the up button, she's on this line. Okay, and her speed will stay the same, so I'm just going to duplicate this. Her velocity will still be about 50. Oops, where did it go? Let me drag this down here. Okay, now if I want her to go down here to the 3-point line, I'm going to have to hit the down button. Yeah, it's just going to be faster. Let me just duplicate this whole thing. Duplicate this, except on my down button, her position is going to change. So I want her to be down here, and that Y position is probably close to, I'm going to guess 100. Not 1,000, 100. So let me try this now. Down button. Yep, now she's down at the bottom, about 100. Okay. But I want it to be a little bit harder because that's the 3-point line. So I'm going to make her speed up a little bit. I'm going to make her speed up to 100 if we go down there. Okay, so pressing the up button puts her on the free throw line. Pushing the down button puts her on the 3-point line. And then I want to change what happens when she shoots. So I don't want the game to be over just because you make a basket. I want to score points when baskets are made. So let me slide this down here. So I'm going to go into logic and pull out an if true then. So I'm going to tell the game that if my sprite is on the regular line, the 2-point line, she's only going to score 2 points. So I'm going to pull out 0 equals 0, put that where it says true. I'm going to go into sprites, pull out my sprite X, put that in the 0. And I'm going to say if the Y position, that's where, how high up she is, if she's on the 2-point line or the 3-point line, if that is 70, is that what her position was? Set my sprite Y to 70, yeah. Then she's going to score 2 points when they overlap. So I'm going to go into info, and I'm going to change the score by 2 points if she's at the 2-point line. Otherwise, if she's at the 3-point line, she's going to get 3 points. Alright, let's check this out and see if it works. Okay, so there's... Oh, how'd she get 26 points? I guess the basketballs are overlapping by a whole lot. So I'm going to need to change what happens here. Let me go into effects. So I'm going to scroll down to effects and say, I want to destroy the basketball. I want to destroy the basketball when it hits the hoop. So I need to change it from my sprite to projectile, which is the basketball. I want it to get destroyed. Maybe I'll have a little bit of a cool effect like, oh, warm radial. I'm going to make this for a really short time. So I need my basketball to get destroyed if it hits the hoop. Otherwise, it's just going to keep racking up points, and we don't want that. Alright, I think this should do it. Let me change this to 30 seconds. Let me go play this game. Okay, here we go. So there's my 2 points. Oh, it worked. I just got 2 points. Alright, let me move her down. Oh, moving her down also makes her shoot. I need to change that. Alright, so now I am just getting 3 points. Let me move her back up, and now she's going slow. Alright, one thing I do want to change is, let's just say that I have to shoot by hitting button A. And that should be 30 seconds. I just want to get points when I hit button A, no other time. Let's try it now. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to move her down. She's going faster because it's harder to get the 3 points. Alright, she's doing it. Alright, at the end, I don't want it to be like I lost. I just want it to play a song. So I'm going to go to on the countdown end, and I'm going to have it play a song, a happy song. So what song is happy? I think I'm going to program it to play We Are the Champions. Alright, I'm going to say that's it. We are the champions at the end, and then it will play that song. Alright, so that's it. You guys can make those modifications if you want. So on button A is when I shoot. I get only 2 points when it overlaps. If I go down to the 3-point line, my sprite moves faster. But if I make it, I get 3 points.